As a sub-12 hunter, wind can be a major issue. Watch how this heavy QIS pellet gets blown by the wind from left to right. This is why for the last 12 months or longer I've been using slugs for hunting rabbits. Even with a really tiny wind of 2 miles an hour at 45 yards, it will push a pellet an inch, an 8.4 grain pellet an inch versus 0.4 of an inch with a 9.7 grain slug from Pro Hunter. Knowing your holdover at different ranges and range finding is also a challenge for hunting. Just watch how this went straight over the head of this rabbit. And watch this, 2.2 caliber JSB 16 grain, just skim over the top of this one. I've chosen 3 pellets to compete with the 9.7 grain slug. They were excellent pellets. My actual personal favorite is the 10.34 grain JSB Heavy. That is an awesome pellet. Really hard to beat. I also chose them because apparently, according to Chairgun, they follow pretty much the same trajectory, which is counterintuitive when you consider the weight difference. But if you look here, 45 yards, 8.4 grain pellet is really not that much different to the 10.34 grain. Really a fraction of it, 0.2 of an inch, say. But the slug seems to be on par with the 8.4 grain pellet. That's really interesting to me, because the flatter the trajectory, the better. First up is 8 yards. It's a little bit blurry at this range. I am new to HFT. I'm learning as I go along, so I fired one shot at the target to learn my holdover, and then aimed on, and they're all about the same. If anything, the slug had the least variation. Next on to 10 yards, and again, seeing very similar results. What I do like about the slugs in particular is they leave a really nice clean hole in the target. So even for target work, there's potential there to really more accurately measure group sizes, etc. And again, you can see they're all about the same, which is what I expect from the theory side of things. 25 yards gets a bit more interesting because it looks like we have to hold under. Looking at the stats, these projectiles are going to land around 0.2 of an inch above the crosshair. No problem here in terms of accuracy from this slug. .30 yards, and this is where I zeroed them all of the projectiles. JSB Heavy went a little high on the first shot, so I had to take another one for confirmation. As you can see, they're all in line, which is what I would expect. And again, no problems with accuracy with the slug here. .40 yards, and we're having to hold over here around 0.7 of a mil dot. The scope is an Archon, and it's an excellent scope. An EPL4 4x16 by 44.
But I didn't notice actually on it. I don't know if it's because it's the old.
This is where I aimed, and this is the point of impact. And actually, it looks like the slug did slightly better than the 8.4 grain on the far left. Next to the slug on the far right is the 10.3 grain JSB, my personal favorite pellet. And they performed very similarly to each other. In fact, all of these pellets performed very similar to each other, which is what the share gun stats predicted. "45 yards, which I understand is the longest in HFT you're going to reach out to, and we're aiming just under a mil dot, or rather, just below a mil dot, so about 1.2 mil dots, and that is across the board really. There's not much in it at all. Again, this is my favorite pellet, the JSB Heavy. 8.44 grain JSB is on the left. That's where I aimed. That's the point of impact at this range, and this is the heavy JSB Heavy, and they hit the same. It's the same holdover. I was absolutely amazed by that. I was really expecting the JSB Heavy to hit way lower than the 8.4, but it's just not the case. It's being sent with more oomph, and it has better ballistic coefficient. So it flies flatter despite being heavier. This is the slug, and again you can see it's super similar to the JSB Heavy and the 8.4 grain. It really is very similar trajectory.